Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is Adult Star, content creator, very new to the scene, but my goodness gracious, what a splash she has been making thus far within her tenure. The one, the only Miss Oyasumi. How are you, Miss Oyasumi?
Hello, it's good, Mike. I'm very good. I'm very glad to be on your show, and I am ready to spill my guts out and have some nice raw footage for you.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. But no, I look at it from a stance like this. Thus far within your tenure, we really got to see a lot of what you're about. And I mean, congratulations as well, being signed with Sex Work PR. Shout out to Geo and shout out to many amazing people such as Goddess M Ambitious. It's a great time to see such great talent like yourself coming to fruition. Talk about that experience so far, because it's really great to see another person thrive like yourself.
It has been amazing. It's always starts off a little rough because you're so new and everything, and I'm still very new to the field and the industry itself. And I've been having a lot of fun with it because the people around me, they are good people. Like you mentioned, Goddess M Ambitious. She is a wonderful human being. She's my manager, one of my managers, and she makes sure that I'm safe, happy, and that I'm making great content. She'll tell me if I need to step up my game or if I'm doing good or if I need to post more. And she's really just looking out for me. And she's really what has gotten me this far in the game. And there's also other talents that I've been talking to that have been very supportive of me and very wanting to see me succeed, which was very surprising because I thought it was going to be very competitive and very strict, but everybody seems to want everyone to do good.
I love that. First and foremost, I always say this, not only is it about being safe and spectacular within your work and applying your craft in a spectacular fashion, but I think to add on to your point, and this is what I love that you brought that up, I look at it from a day and age where something used to be taboo, right? With how we would look at sexual images and sexual films and everything that involves sensuality. I think in today's day and age, with the addition of the OnlyFans, the many vids, the fans leaves, the loyal fans, and everything that's really kind of at our fingertips now from what we used to have back in the day, I think things have become a little bit more normalized, as well as everybody's really expanding their horizons, really showcasing. It's very liberating to, dare I say, let your freak flag fly, so to speak. But at the end of the day,
Yes,
we're all equal. And I think we get to see a lot of people showcase their uniqueness within their preferences.
definitely. It's a very accepting community and I'm very glad that it is. Um I mean, I guess you kind of have to be when you're dealing with things that are normally discriminated against because of taboo reasons or other reasons. And it's just one of those things where it's kind of like the gay community or the LGBTQA plus community where you have been discriminated against, so you huddle together and you keep those people close to you and you make sure those people are doing well. I feel like that's the same as the porn community, that we all look out for each other because we need each other.
Oh, agreed. And I mean, I look at it from a stance too. I think when we go with anything in our life within our journey, I think it's really about applying our crafts in amazing fashion. I think you could concur with me on this. When you look at what the adult entertainment industry actually is, much like any facet of life, it's really an art form because at the end of the day, you're just expressing yourself as far as your art, you're being your content, you're painting your canvas with what we see in your work, your content, as well as imagery. There's a lot that goes into it than just the, to put in the bluntest of terms, having sex and fucking, so to speak. There's lighting, there's camera, there's editing. There's so much that goes into the presentation of what we get to see on screen.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not that big of a photographer. I am a selfie person. I do the phone and that's about it. But she does the camera, and when we did our first shoot together, she made me really aware of all the stuff that goes into it, like the lighting, the outfits, because like my glasses, I didn't know that my glasses would be a problem because of the glass. Well, they don't use glass anymore, but the lenses, it shines, and that can be a problem sometimes during photography. I had no idea, I wasn't aware, so like I gained a little bit of insight from her about photography. So like when I take photos by myself now, I always have light an extra light nearby, and I have like tripods and stuff like that to hold the camera and stuff. I obviously don't have anything really fancy yet, but I have my phone, I have lights, and I have stands.
I will say this: take it from someone who's been wearing glasses since he was in third grade, over 25 years now. Because if I wasn't, I'd be doing the interview like this. No, I'm kidding. But I look
Yeah, right.
but I look at it from a stance like this. I totally understand where that's coming from. I think you can concur with me. It's the little subtleties, the intricacies, the nuances that we really learn about. And it's so great to really adapt and really grow from that. And I mean, for you, Miss, all I use is a selfie over here. I think that's wonderful too, because you can get some of the greatest images and videos even from that too. And certainly from what we've seen thus far. And we'll get to your sex machine stuff over here. Let's talk about this because, first and foremost, from the selfie side of things, even from that point of view, it really does showcase a lot within your imagery and video. So it definitely comes out very nice and very crisp on your end.
You. Yeah, I started out just doing it for fun. I found out about not safe for work Twitter, and I had my phone, and I had always been into sexual things, always been into, you know, machines and such. I actually had two machines before the previous machine that I have now. And I will like no promotion going on or anything, but Highsmith is the best company I have worked with the sex machines. And those sex machines, they are durable, they last long, they have a warranty for a year. Uh it's I'm like geeking out about it. I like it that much.
Well, I think that's great too with the company brands and everything that you use. I think a lot of people don't even realize too. You have to try out different things to see what you like. And I mean, the sex machine side of things, I mean, let's look at it from the preferences, like we mentioned, and people what they're in with uniqueness. Some people just like watching a girl in their sex machine solo work or even having the machine do the work in itself. There's stuff like that that's very gravitating. It evokes emotions, it elicits reactions. And also at the end of the day, it really encompasses the sexiness and voluptuosity factor. So I mean, you're kind of like a Jill of all trades with the layers of what you're trying to prove within your content. But it definitely works.
Thank you, thank you. I really try to go for like a cutesy aesthetic and just real footage. I don't try to fake things. I don't try to make things unnatural. My body is my body. It's bigger, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. And I just want to get the right angles to make myself look the best that I can because, big can be beautiful and it should be because we're all beautiful at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you and I have had this discussion off air, and I'll say it on this show. I look at it from a stance like this. When it comes to the adult entertainment industry, there's something for everybody. There's such a variety because variety is the spice of life. And I can honestly say it from the male point of view, and I'll give the male point of view in this interview. One of the things that I've always loved is, I mean, from my teenage years to my adulthood, I'm 33 now, right? So, I mean, throughout my years, I've always been into, doesn't matter what type of girls. I've dated girls who are plus size. I've dated girls who, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I look at it from a stance too as well. What you're doing is on camera and off camera. You're building a foundation. You're building a relationship, and that is definitely what works. Or what we get to see with the cohesiveness on camera and off camera. So it's definitely something that applies to life in itself.
Definitely. And I am trying to do a lot more collaborations and such like that. I've been doing a lot of solo work because that's to be expected. I'm new. You can't really just jump into things. There's legal work, there's testing, there's a lot of things that you got to go by to make sure that you're doing things right, legally, and safe. And that's the biggest part. We want to make sure everyone's legal. We want to make sure everyone's safe. We want to just make sure everyone's doing things by the book. And so collaborations, I am trying to do more of them. I get tested every month around the 15th is when my kits are sent. So if you know anyone or anybody, I am pansexual. I love everyone. So that's not a problem to me. But yeah, I'm trying to get out there and get some collaborations done. I am going to be going to Exotica, New Jersey. I know that's a bit far away, but it's very exciting for me.
First of all, I will say this. If you've not networked with her, definitely, because you are definitely the treat that is worth giving here. Let's put that into the forefront here in the bluntest of terms. I look forward to seeing where your journey takes you on that front because you're really going to a lot of conventions and really working with a lot of people. It's the best networking. At the end of the day, it's really a community to what we get to see within the content creation side of things for adult work. And I mean, for you, let's put this into the forefront as well. We see a lot of great images of you. I'm going to tell you right now, in the bluntest of terms, Ms. Oyasumi, you got it going on. It certainly showcases within the external beauty side of things. So you're putting yourself out there. And I think the modeling side really works too because the image is really enticing, Ignite. So, I mean, you have the modeling side down, Pat. So it just continues to get bigger and bigger from here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I have been gaining a lot of followers on Twitter recently. It's been a really good journey so far, and it just even if it's not a lot, I think 500 followers is a lot because that's the most I've ever had. But it's a milestone for me, and I'm excited about it. I am excited to gain more followers, gain more subscribers. I want to pump out content as much as I can and just make sure everybody has a good time and everybody comes.
Literally and figuratively speaking, I like your style. First of all, congratulations on 500 followers. That's awesome. That's
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. But no, I think that's what's really worth it. And I mean, I think what a lot of people can take away from your social media as well, because this is also very key. I think a lot of people in life within your content as well as your internal side of things, because we mentioned the external side of things, but if you look at it from the internal side of things, Oyasumi, it's one of those things where it's just like your personality also does drive a lot of people towards you. You have a great personality and vibrancy, and that definitely does show. So I think that really does bring us people a lot in as well, you know?
Thank you. Thank you. I try to be bubbly. I try to be happy. I try to be positive because I know what it's like to be so down on yourself that it doesn't seem like things are ever going to get better. But it does get better and things will get better. You just got to keep going, find the right people, surround yourself with that right people, and they can help you find a more positive energy and more positive vibes.
Absolutely. And speaking of positive vibes, I got to say right now, first and foremost, happy Pride Month to everybody. I look at it from a stance like this. This one over here, rocking the Pride gear and everything that went into it, as well as the Pride covered dildo that you put out there on your social media. I got to say, very nice, very
Yes.
sexy. You added a little flavor to it. Let's talk about this because as someone like yourself, like you mentioned, pansexual, the Pride Month is definitely in there. I look at it from a stance like this. And I mean, with today's social and political climate, I will say this in the bluntest of terms. And what I mean by this, and when I say who the fuck cares, number one, let people enjoy themselves, express themselves, and number two, let them be themselves. Because I think the best version of yourself is you. Because at the end of the day, we're all wonderful, we're all beings, and we have like what we like, and we are who we are. And staying true to thyself is so keen. So at the end of the day, with something that we make a lot of noise towards, so to speak, and it's very much unnecessary noise that we really need to tune out. We have so much more going on in the world. Like fucking just stop with the pride bashing and just let people live and love one another. That's the most keen thing. And I apologize for my soapbox, but it's so key.
No, it's okay. I love the soapbox. Like I love it when people stand up for other communities. Like Juneteenth is really big too. Like that's the day that Texas freed the slaves
Mhm.
and nobody talks about it, nobody cares about it, and they think, "Oh, we have 4th of July, why do we need Juneteenth?" Like we need Juneteenth because that's an important day in history that we should recognize that people were discriminated against and all this kind of things. And we need to recognize that it's an important day for people. You can't take away Black History Month. You can't take away Pride Month. You can't take away other months. Like these are very important days for people. And there's so much that I would talk about and rant about because, like, men's um, mental health month, men's regular health month, like that's important too. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how men need mental health as well. There's just so many things that people just don't think about and don't care about that need this platform these months so people can feel themselves and feel like they're heard and seen.
I look at it from a stance like this. First of all, beautiful and eloquently said, my friend. I love that. I love the vibe. I love the spirit that you mentioned Juneteenth and Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Month. Mental health is so key in today's day and age, folks, whether it be men or just people in general. I myself have been there. I'm sure, Oyasumi, you've been there, as we all have been there. We're human beings. We hurt, we love, and everything. It's all emotions running throughout these bodies of ours. And I look at it from a stance like this. I always say this, and I don't mean to hate on the boomers, but I think there's the boomer mentality out there because they grew up in a day and age. And I think what's so keen now that we have now that really the mental health focuses on, y'all didn't have social media. Y'all didn't have what we
Yeah.
have now, where everybody's constantly doing this, instead of just being united, not divided. Everybody constantly
Yeah.
has an opinion where they just want to fucking go balls to the wall on social media. So you don't have the day and age of what the internet is now. And I think that's always been the thing with the boomer side of things, where they kind of look at us like, but I'm like, no, if you understand growing up in today's day and age where social media is key, content creation is everything, the social media age has a different perspective of how we view things. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to be the best representation of our presentation. But what we see on social media can get to you. And I think a lot of people really need to take that social media break because, as I always say,
Oh
social
yeah.
media, it's not real life, but it's key to what we do in business. But people really need to take a break for their mental health.
Oh yeah, sometimes I do need to take breaks as well from, like Twitter and OnlyFans and stuff like that. It's never long breaks, maybe just like a day or two. Um, like obviously I still make that one post and then I get off real quick. Because it can be detrimental. Like you said, it's not real life, but it makes you feel like it is. Everything people post, you're always saying, "Oh man, that person got married. I didn't get married this year. When am I going to get married?" And it's like that doesn't matter. That's their life versus your life. There's no reason to compare it.
It reminds me of, there was a comedian who's on the northeast side of things. The name escapes me, forgive me, but I was watching one of his stand-ups. It was on Instagram, right? So he was talking about how like Facebook just wants to make you think like you're in high school with all the memories that you see on Facebook. It's like, here's from 15 years ago when you were in high school. So Facebook's kind of telling you like, hey, remember high school, and it makes you feel a certain way. And then he was talking about like, I was at my friend's birthday party, right? And then like we're in our 30s now, and I'm ready to go home. And he's like, what's the next move? I'm like, this was the move. We went out, we went to the birthday party. Now it's time for me to go home, because there are some people that still have the mindset of like they're 23 and they want to relive the stuff that they were at 23, were in their 30s now. Because when you're in your 30s, you want a quiet night, you want to relax, you got stuff, you got responsibilities, if you will. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's always that one thing where you have like your youth has kind of been like showcased through social media, and you still think you're that same age sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Social media makes it feel like you should go out every night and your life should be a party, when in fact, there's going to be mundane days where
Mm-hmm.
your day is just your accomplishment is getting out of bed and your accomplishment is going to work and coming home and you get to watch TV. Like, some days are just normal.
Right. And I mean, I look at it like this. I think you have to look at every day like it's another day, another blessing, because you wake up and you get to do what you want to do, as well as far as taking the journey and seeing where everything goes from here, which is so key in life in itself. And I mean, what also is so key, and let's put this into the forefront, man. We mentioned the sex work, we mentioned the sex machine and everything that you bring to the table on that front, but also what you bring into the table is a great name, because as they say, it's all in the name from the marketing side of things. Talk about the name Oyasumi and how you really came into fruition with that. Because personally, I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's really cool.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I love the name Oyasumi. I studied Japanese for around maybe 4 years, and I took it as language and cultural classes. And as I learned Japanese, there was phrases that I liked because of how they sounded. Japanese is a very sing-song language. It's very onomatopoeia loving, and it sounds very pleasing to the ear. It's not harsh like, say, German, where it's very like the tone is harsh. It's very soft, Japanese is. And oyasumi actually is a phrase, and it means good night. And oyasumi is the casual version, because there in the Japanese language there is casual versus formal. And normally you would speak formal to anyone until you know them on a close basis. And so like if I was saying goodnight to you, I would say oyasumi minasai. No, wait, sorry. Give me a minute. It's been a little while. I know oyasumi means goodnight. Oyasumi. Can I look this up real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. You're
Okay.
totally fine.
The, I wanted to be a teacher, and the greatest tool about teaching is that you should be allowed to look things up, because if you don't remind yourself frequently, then you will lose it. So if kids are struggling, I don't see a problem with them looking up how to solve a problem. I have a problem with them looking up things to say the answer. But if you're just looking up how to solve something, I don't think that's a bad way to teach someone.
No, you're totally fine. I mean, I look at it from
So
the
it is Oyasumi Nasai.
point of view.
Um it is, I'm sorry. I got a little flustered there,
No,
but I was being put to the test and I didn't fulfill it.
you're totally fine. I look at it from a stance too. That's totally fine that you looked that up. I think that's great. Oyasumi Nasai. I mean, I look at it from a stance like this, man. We're constantly learning as well as far as cultures and stuff. And I think it's really cool that you get to learn the Japanese side of things, because Japanese culture is very interesting from the world of anime, from everything that we get to see with what Japan provides. I mean, we look at it from wrestling. We look at it from the different styles in professional wrestling, from strong style that's really come stateside. We get to see a lot of different shows and different entertainment from their content. So, I mean, Japan is really have as a nice little chokehold on what we get to see within our international cultures.
Oh yeah, I always loved Japanese culture. I was an anime fan growing up ever since I want to say like when I knew what anime was when I was about 8 or 7. I always watched it ever since I was a kid. I watched Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Hamtaro, whatever anime there was, Code Lyoko. Um, so I always had Japanese culture growing up, just in the form of anime. So it wasn't necessarily like I didn't have the boundary between uh like this is a culture versus this is a show until like maybe I was like 11. And then I realized like this is actually culture that is in the show. And I started learning more and more about Japanese culture, and there's just so many fun things to learn about it. It's so different than our culture in the West. There's a lot of formalities, there's a lot of consideration, a lot of community. Um, it can be a great thing and it can be a detrimental thing. It's a society like anywhere else. There's obviously greatness and weak points, but overall, the culture I love.
I love that. And I mean, first of all, you're taking it back for everybody. The Pokemons, the Digimons, the Yu-Gi-Ohs, and everything that we love
Yes,
growing up.
yes.
I mean, even with Nickelodeon, they had Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, I think
Oh,
what's
so good.
oh, it was, and I think now like stuff now like they have the Academia, they have like a lot of good shows that are out there, and I think what a lot of people don't realize is, and people crap on anime, but I'm like, if you really like visualize and watch anime, like some of the stories in anime are like very intense, but god dang it, they get you hooked. There's a lot of great storytelling there.
Oh yeah, it is writing first and foremost. Like there are great writers that come every once in a generation. Like Akira Toriyama made Dragon Ball, and he was a legend that inspired the big three, big four, and he really set the tone for anime. And he was one of the animes that got into the West because the West kind of gate kept anime when it first came out. They only wanted a certain look for anime. They used to call it 15ing, where they would purposely dub over things and make it more mature because they wanted anime to have this mature look. And so they would bring over things like just like random Gundams, random beat 'em up animes and stuff like that. But Akira Toriyama, his anime got in there, and it was more than just fighting. It was like a slice of life as well. And you got to see like all this development in these characters. And I think that really springboarded more shows like it.
Oh, agreed. And I think if you have that effect, that dare I say, that whirlwind, that overall, dare I say, whiplash effect of everything that goes into it, you explore and you get to also adapt and really get to see how shows really progress from how they tell their stories and how they really showcase that live action as well as anime to it. And I mean, look at it even in the adult entertainment industry. We'll take some anime into this as well. For instance, and I mean, look at cosplaying. Like, first and foremost, if y'all have not checked out this one over here doing her cosplaying thing, that adds a lot of sexual and voluptuosity vibes to it, and a lot of people can gravitate gravitate towards the cosplaying field. So that adds a lot, definitely, with the imagery and just how really awesome the cosplaying culture is, and how really a lot of people are unique and equal when it comes to that front.
Oh yeah, I love cosplaying. I actually have cosplayed ever since I was 11 years old. I was not very in tune with my sexuality when I was first a teenager or anything like that, as teenagers should not be. You go through the changes and everything, but like, you're still a kid. But I didn't really feel comfortable in women's clothes. I felt more comfortable in men's clothes because it was baggier, it didn't show off my body. I did not feel very comfortable as a child in my own body. And so the men's clothes, the men's cosplay made me feel great. It made me feel like I looked good, that I was handsome, that I was perfect for the role. And my first ever cosplay was Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. I was 11 years old and I was the perfect height for him because Edward Elric is only canonly like 15 around. So I was the perfect height, perfect age. I would run around pretending to be Edward, as a kid does. It is different now at conventions and such like that now that anime is more mainstream. I do have to say, because there used to be a lot more acting involved in cosplay. Like, people would be the character for a day. So I would be Edward for a day. So if someone came up to me and be like, "You're short," I would scream, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna scream. You called me short," because that's his thing. And I don't really see people do that anymore.
It's almost like in the '80s when you had Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox called me chicken. Nobody calls me chicken. I digress. I mean, I look at it from a stance like this. Wait, no, I mean that's very cool. That adds another layer to the character. And I mean, as far as, I mean, I'll say this right now. I know you posted on Twitter about anime convention. Like, how awesome was that to like really be at these conventions? Because we mentioned the community and we mentioned that type of character of yelling and just everything that goes into what really makes this community fun. How was the convention, man? I know you were posting that on Twitter. Did you have
Oh, it was amazing. I loved that convention with my heart and soul. It is Anime Central. It is Rosemont, Chicago, and it is just a blast every year. I've been to it ever since I was 11, so whatever year that was, 2000s probably, up till now. The only year I'd never went was during COVID when they did not host. And I love the panels, I love the games, I love they have like all this different types of beer and wine that you can have if you really want to. Like I remember one year I got a drink called the Pikachu or the Ash Ketchum, and it would tasted great.
Now you got me wanting to drink Pikachu and gotta catch them all with everything. Yes, no, but that's cool. I love this. I love that name. No, I love that because if you have the themed, when you think of anime, you think of Pokemon and all that. But
Mhm.
but that's cool. You have to have that kind of stuff. And I mean, even having beer or wine or anything in general, man, it's very, dare I say, accommodation as well as comfortability because you're bringing your clientele in for the convention that people are going to like. So you really make it for everyone feel equal and pretty much everyone feel calm. And I think that's wonderful to add that nice little layer and spark to it.
Yeah, like they really stepped up their game food-wise this year. This year they had so many different types of food stalls. You could get like regular food from the convention, or you could get for some from the trucks, the food trucks that were out there, or you could get like these Japanese like uh strawberries and bananas covered in chocolate on a stick. Sounded so good. Um but the one thing that they were a little bit lacking in this year, I say this as a critique because it is a bit of money to go now. It used to be a little bit cheaper because it wasn't as big, but I want to say like they host more than 30,000 people. Um and it's just the game hall is always my favorite place to go. And this year they didn't have anything except PS5s and Switches, and they did not switch out the games if you wanted to switch out the game. So it was a little sad. It was a sad game room this year. Just a couple of people playing some PS5s and Switches when normally they would have consoles of every generation, uh, PS1s, PS2s, GameCubes, Dreamcast, anything you wanted. It was there, and you could play any game they had, which was awesome. I believe Galloping Ghost used to sponsor the game room, which is a place in Brookfield. Shout out to Galloping Ghost because that place rocks. It's an arcade place, and they do $25 for free play all day. You can get a little stamp or keep your receipt, and you can go in and out of the establishment. And you can it's the world's largest arcade in America. I don't know if it's in the world. It might be in the world though.
Man, you're bringing back memories because I remember as a kid, I went with my buddy, went to retro aviation on Long Island, and they would have like all the old school consoles and have like games and everything from like retro and like the golden age, like 80s, 90s, and everything. And that kind of breaks my heart too because I'm like, I get the PS5 stuff, but I'm like, y'all, there's more to PS5 there's more than just PS5
Exactly.
consoles. That breaks my heart. Like PS2, like I'll be honest, I still even in my old collection here and I don't have a PS5 just because I'm not going to say I'm cheap, but I'm like, if I only want to get a few games, why am I going to spend my money on a PS5? Like, yo,
Yeah.
I got the retro PS2 and the Nintendo Wii. I'm happy. And I got a PS1 still, even from back in like the late 90s. And it still works
Yes.
perfectly. You can't beat the classics.
I have a PS1, a Dreamcast, a GameCube, um, a Switch, and I'm sharing a PS2 with one of my friends. We went halvesies on it because it was really cheap. It was like 150. And we were like, oh, whoever wants it in the end of the divorce, we can just pay $50 off to the other person.
That's awesome. No, but here's the thing too, and I mean, people can say what they will about the graphics and stuff, but I'm like, even if you really look at it, like 20, some of these games like 20, 22, 23 years old, a lot of the graphics still hold up, and it's not bad in
Oh yeah.
2025.
After I want to say after PlayStation, like when PlayStation 2 came out, GameCube came out, that's when the graphics really solidified and became more visually pleasing because those graphics, when you see the first release of a game on the GameCube or the Dreamcast or the PlayStation 2, like those graphics are pretty freaking good. And then at the end of it, it's just spectacular.
Oh, agreed. And I think that enhancement really does apply and really does appeal to one's eye when it comes to the games. And I mean, I even look at it like this as a kid. So, being the wrestling fan that I am, and I'll say this to anybody who's ever played wrestling video games, there was one video game that they came out with called WWE Crush Hour, which was probably WWE's version of what Twisted Metal was back in the 90s and everything that we saw with Twisted Metal. Don't do it because like they tried, but I'm like, if you want to get a wrestling game is a wrestling game, and trying to mix the two worlds, it didn't work. They tried, but it didn't work. So for anybody who's played WWE Crush Hour and the audience who knows what I'm talking about, Oyasumi, it was bad. It was bad. They tried, but it was bad. It was bad. That's the thing. Sometimes you can't really mesh a lot of things together. Sometimes that stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, there are famous games out there that people know about that are just crazy and stuff like that. I can't really remember the name of it, but there's this Japanese one where you like play as a CEO and you go through his life and it just gets crazy and it's like impossible to beat. I think only like a handful of people ever beat the game.
Oh, agreed. I mean, you can't also beat your classics. And I'll say this right now, even as a kid, when we grew up with the Grand Theft Autos, like, yes, the game is just like robbing and there's shootings and stuff. But I mean, the soundtrack is there. And we talk about elements of thing. Like you have soundtrack when you're listening on the radio and you have to do whatever things you need to do as far as tasks go. Like that stuff even holds up to today. Like even you, like we mentioned, you can't beat the classics, but something so simplistic with the story and so simplistic that goes through the game through really works. I mean, for God's sake, I know I'll take everybody back with this. Oyasumi, I don't know if you remember, but Exhibit, the rapper, the great X to the Z Exhibit, when he had Pimp My Ride on MTV, they did a Pimp
Yeah.
My Ride video game.
Oh
So,
yeah, I remember that.
oh God. And the reason why I shake my head, it's cool because of the concept of what the TV show is. But after a while, it's like, okay, I'm just going to get some accessories. We're going to do some blingage. We're going to do some stuff with the car and do like dance around our car because it's Pimp My Ride. And it's like, all right, what else? You know what I'm saying? It's cool. But after a
Yeah.
while, it's just like, All right, I get
It's
it.
just a car designer, that's
That's
all
just
it is. Like
that's all
you
it
you
is.
get a car designer and you make a car and you say it looks pretty and then you move on to the next one.
Absolutely. That would be like in today's day and age, and I'll do it with the kids nowadays. That would be like if Catfish, the reality show, had a TV. Oh my God, can you imagine Catfish, the video
Oh
game?
my god. I
Watching all the catfish.
feel like that would be an intense game. Like you figure out the lies and you investigate.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you could do something to it. I think we're on to something. I think we're on to something.
Catfish, hit us up. Like we'll make a game.
There was one even if the pop culture realm. So of course, NSYNC, one of the greatest pop stars on the boy band side of things, right? So NSYNC, I found out because my friend Amanda, shout out to my girl Amanda, actually had this video game as a kid. It was called NSYNC, like to the concert or like everything that they did, like to the whatever it was. So the whole premise of the game is just like you'll see NSYNC choreography, and you have to stop at this place, that place, this place to get to make sure that their concert goes intact. And it's like that's literally the whole game. Like you could play the whole game in like 40 minutes. I'm not even joking. And
That's
I'm
crazy.
and I'm like, I get it from the marketing side of things because in sync you had everything because boy band mania was running wild in the 90s and
Oh yeah.
2000s. But I'm like, I get it. But I'm like, this game literally can be done in like 40 minutes. I get it, but it literally can be done in like 40 minutes. But I'm like, hey, it's sold. People bought it.
Yeah, right? You can sell anything almost.
Absolutely. And I will say what you do sell over here, Miss Oyasumi, is awesomeness within your craft. And I cannot wait to see, like we mentioned earlier, what the next part of your journey takes you within your content. And I'm going to say this right now. A couple final questions I do want to ask you. First of all, you've been an absolute blast. I love you. Have you back for a round two. This has been great talking to you tonight.
Absolutely.
For you, doing your thing on OnlyFans, Fansly, and everything that we see. And we mentioned what was once taboo to where we see things now normalized in the adult entertainment industry. For you, how awesome is it to see like these sites coming to fruition from back in the day where you'd have to pay for stuff like that? And then we'd have the streaming sites like the Pornhubs, the X videos, X hamsters. And now with the addition of OnlyFans and many vids and what have you, how awesome is it to see the evolution of the adult entertainment industry and content creation with sites like we have now that even you're on?
I think it's great because I think it's safer for people. I think that it's safer as a creator now to be who you are because you have your own platform now. You don't need to sign with someone in order to be on a platform or be on film. You can do things yourself now and you can do things safely within your own home. So you don't really need to seek out a manager or someone else. You can be your own manager now. Whereas back in the day, if you wanted to do stuff on Pornhub or something, you would have to get on like Crazy Taxi or something like that.
Oh, agreed. And I think we mentioned the word free being so liberating now, but I think that's what's key about it too. Is I mean, it became a bonanza. Let's put that into fruition, a bonanza, if you will, for what we got to see during COVID time, and a lot of people accumulating money and putting out content. And I mean, on the other side of things, I'll ask a follow up to that because even though it's such a short time, you've been doing your thing as far as the social media game goes. And I wanted to ask you because when I was in ninth grade, I had a science teacher, living environment teacher, Mr. Marino. He always used to talk about the pearls of wisdom, right? So, what I've always kind of adapted from even learning about that when I was 15, and learning about from science class. For you, so what would be some pearls of wisdom? What advice would you give for those who want to get into the content game and really explore it like you have thus far?
I would say don't sell yourself short because someone out there will like you for you. Just like in romance, someone will like you for your body. If you want to sell your body, then that's completely fine. You just have to make sure that you are okay with it because those pictures will be there for years, months, forever. And especially if you're selling content personally to other people, those people don't, there's not really, if you don't sell it within reason and stuff, those people could have those pictures forever. They could show them to other people. So it's very important that you are okay with what you do. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, if you don't want people to see your body, then I'd say that don't do it. If it's something you're iffy about, don't do it. You should have your heart and soul into it, and it should be something you're comfortable with because it's your line of work. It's something that you want to do. It's not something that you should be forced to do, not something that you do for the money. It's something that you should do for the craft. It is art and it should be treated as art because not everyone can do it. It's a talent. You learn from it. You get better as you do it, and it's beautiful. It's just that so many people take it and twist it. Don't fall for traps. Don't fall for scams. Don't fall for sex trafficking. Before I met the lovely people at Sex Work PR, I almost got into a bad situation with a man who promised me all this stuff where I would be in film and stuff, but it wasn't legal, it wasn't right. He was going to make me do things that I did not consent to, all for money. And it didn't feel right, so I didn't do it. But there's so many people that would have done it. And that's the things that you need to be scared of and realize that this can happen to you. So you need to protect yourself. So don't do it if you don't want to do it, and watch out for yourself. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Make sure you know the actual companies. Make sure you read your contracts. You know, just be safe, because it's a hard world out there and there's still prejudice. No matter how mainstream this becomes, there's still people who don't believe that we are human anymore because we do such things. And that's not true. We are human and we need to protect each other and we need to love each other. And I guess that's my word of advice, is that if you want to be in this industry, you need to love it.
First off, beautifully and eloquently, you said, "A woman at my heartstrings," talk about the arts and the crafts. I like your style, but no, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. I think there is some scuzzy people out there, but I think with what you got with sex work, I think you're golden, man, because there are going to be people that want to take advantage of you and do unfortunate crap out there. Much like Oyasumi said, there's still prejudice out there. We talk about normalizing and also how we enjoy it and how we appreciate it, but there are some people out there that are going to talk down to you, look at you weird. But I'm like, hey, man, like, yeah, I always look at it like this. At the end of the day, we mention art form, but it's a business. You have to treat everything like a
Mm-hmm.
business. That's literally it. That's how you have to look at it and really analyze it.
I agree completely. It is a business it's a job. It's a job. Like, you do your 9 to 5 with it.
Mhm.
And but as they say, if it's something that you truly love, it's not going to feel like work. I've always worked jobs that I haven't liked up until now, and even though I have to work my 9 to 5 and do sex work at the same time, I still love sex work enough that I'm willing to do it after I get home from work.
Now, okay, I'm going to say this, and the reason why I'm smiling at this, because this one over here, let me tell you something, Oyasumi, and I like your style even more for saying that. As someone who does as well do his 9 to 5 or afternoon, evenings, whatever, with my shift, like this right here is always a pleasure and a privilege, because I love giving people a platform to tell their stories. From my end, podcasting is definitely working, because if you love what you're doing and you're passionate about it, then you're golden, man. So that also tugs at my heartstrings a little, because you can do the proverbial 9 to 5 and be on the grind that way, or then you can get on the grind at night with what you're doing. So it's a nice little balance. It can work.
Yes, definitely.
Well, my dear friend Oyasumi, you have not only been a great guest, but you have just been a just amazing spirit in person, and I really appreciate your time. So before we close this out, where can we follow you on the socials, man? The floor is yours.
Okay, so my socials don't all have the same usernames, but most of them do. So my X/Twitter is gonna be Machine Lover X3. However, the M and the L in Machine Lover need to be capitalized or you won't find me. And you need to make sure that your safe search is off because I've been flagged. And for my Instagram, it is Machine Lover Oyasumi, and as well as my OnlyFans and my Fansly, that is also Machine Lover Oyasumi. So you can find me on all four of those, all four of those platforms. And I am trying to make more platforms. I have an all link in my Twitter/X account. So if you ever want to find more links or book me through at sexworkpr.com. That is also a link that you can find me at if you want to book me, if you want to photo shoot with me, or if you have like something that you would like to request, you can always DM me on Twitter/X. I do customs and such like that. So just always send me a message. I'm very open, very quick to respond as well.
Alrighty, links will be in the description for all those socials. Definitely give her a follow because you are a great follow with everything that you do. So
Thank you.
you're very welcome. But yes, and also for safe work, don't get flagged, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get flagged. It's so
I swear my Instagram is a lot safer than my Twitter. So if you want something safe and just boudoir, go to my Instagram. If you want something a little saucy, go to my X/Twitter.
I like your style. Elegant. So you put that on a t-shirt. Elegance and saucy. I like your style. And boudoir. I like your style. Now, I'm going to say this right now. And as you know how hard it is with social media, you know how hard it is to call it X, because literally my pop culture nerdiness goes to X going to give it to you. Rest in peace, DMX. But I look at it from a stance like this. Y'all, it's very hard. I still call it Twitter, to be completely honest with you, because you know what it is? I know that boy Elon has a infatuation with the letter X and his children and whatnot. But you know how hard it is to call a site X, because it also goes back to triple X, and it makes me think of like the Vin Diesel movie Porn in itself. You know how hard it is to call it X? Oyasumi. You know how hard it is to call it X?
I've been switching back and forth from it, and I've been being picked on for calling it X actually, because they're like, "Oh, you're actually using the preferred name for X. You're not using the dead name for X." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't really care."
That's the thing too. It's like people like get on you for like, oh, you're still calling it Twitter? Yes, because that's what I grew up with. Or when I went to high
Yeah.
school, when I graduated from high school myself personally 15 years ago, it was Twitter. Like that's what I know. I know flipping Twitter. Like with Facebook, Instagram, like people would say like those are outdated now, but I'm like, people still use it. Like, don't act like it's not outdated. Like you all got to stop. Like I know there's more socials out there now, but like that's what we grew up on.
Yeah, no, for real. Like it's when people are like, uh, because they get on me for calling it X. They're like, you should call it Twitter because that's what it has been and that's what it always will be.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, oh no, I called it X.
But yes, that is the crazy social media age that we live in, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, what I say with each and every one of these shows, life is an art form. We're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And Oyasumi, do you have any final words to the peeps, your fans thus far within your journey into the adult entertainment industry and content creation?
It's been a blast. Shout out to everyone at Sex Work PR. They are amazing people. They've really made my dreams come true so far, and they're going to continue to support me, and I'm going to continue to support them. I'm ambitious. Always support her. She's such a great sex worker. She is professional. She knows how to do camera too. She's a trick of all trades. She knows what she's doing. It's been 8 years. She's that hustler gal, so don't forget about that. Uh, So, just shout out to those people supporting me and also all the content creators that out there that message me personally and like check in on me or like tell me about themselves and like support my work. Like shout out to those people too because love is love and I'm going to give all my love back to those people that love me.
I love it. I like your style. That really does warm my heart once more. I like your energy, and that energy is going to take you very far. Shout out to Sexwork PR. Got us ambitious, like she mentioned. We got a lot of great people doing the damn thing in this content creation game. So, with that being said, as I always say to end each and every one of these shows, it's very much of my mindset. And I say this with each and every podcast that I do: beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Oyasumi, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike.
I can't wait to kick it with you. I just wanna spend the whole night. Waking up is better with you. Can we do it every night, every night? I can't wait to kick it with you. I just wanna spend the whole night. Waking up is better with you. Can we do it every night, every night? Blowing up my